Reality Team TV. We back. We back. Big True. How you doing, darling? How you feeling today?
I'm great.
Welcome to the Red Chair, man. How you feeling?
Thank you. I'm feeling great. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. I'm having such a lovely day. You know, the weather's nice. I can't complain. Usually, to be fair with you, you can even ask my people. I get hot quite easily. Usually, I'm sweating. I don't even know how today. I'm wearing a jumper.
Yeah, me too.
I'm feeling good. I can't lie, man. You know? Oh, good, man. Look, True. Let's get, like the people to get to know you, like a little bit more. How is the music going? First of all, how is the music going?
I am having fun with it this time around.
Mm.
Um, so, yeah, this is my second rodeo. Only because I was dropping music in 2011. More rapping. So I was sort of like songwriting for other people at first. I started out doing poetry. And I just used to love writing poetry.
I bet you used to get a lot of clicks in it.
Have a way with words, I guess. And then I was working with a team, Ghetto Superstars.
Okay.
They was working very closely with like Ruthless Records and that type of thing. And I was mainly sort of like, I was the hook girl, singing all the hooks and stuff. And then eventually I just felt like I wanted to branch out and explore more. I wanted to, just do full songs, not just be a hook girl.
Yeah.
So then eventually, once everybody went their own ways as they do when you work in a group, I just started just exploring music and just doing what I love to do. I love a good ballad, like a good R&B song. So I do like to sing as well, even though I do rap. Even though I feel more confident with rapping, with rapping, I'm like, okay, I know what I'm doing, it's down packed. With singing, I'm sort of, how can I explain? I'm great at writing songs. I'm great at writing for other people as well. And sometimes I can write songs that are bigger than me, I feel like. So it's an aspect that I love of music, the songwriting side. And not a lot of musicians don't like that side. Because they're just like, it's just the dealing with the artist all the time. And they come with a lot of issues sometimes.
Can I ask a quick question, please?
Yes.
When you're a songwriter, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you write different songs. And obviously, some you keep them for yourself. And obviously, some, like you said, some you think they're bigger than you, right?
Yeah.
When you write a song, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
How do you come to that conclusion? How do you know, this song is bigger than me versus this song is for me? You get what I'm trying to say? Because I've always wanted to understand how songwriters, say, this one's for me, that one is for maybe other people.
Yeah.
You get where I'm coming from?
Well, it actually depends because, writing, there's so many different ways to do it. Sometimes I can go in with the mind of saying, right, I want this to sound like a Lady Gaga, Britney Spears type of song. And that's the way that I gear towards it sounding. And it will literally sound like a Lady Gaga, Britney Spears song if you heard it, like a pop song. And then other times I could just write a song. It's a beautiful song, but it might not be my range. I'm actually like a lower tone singer. So I'm more of a closer to a Tony Braxton in terms of how I sing. I'm not up in the sky. Yeah. So in that sense, even though I do have quite a good range, I can belt a few notes or whatever and stuff like that. There's other people, they sing up there all the time. You know what I mean? So I might write a song that has crazy riffs, crazy that, and you might have to do belt all these notes out and stuff, and it might just not be for my vocal, and that's it. It just might not be my style. I feel like I have a lot more of a rougher style in terms of, I can come off in the music. It can come off quite ratchet sometimes a little bit, but it's just because that is where I kind of come from in my background, my environment. So when I'm doing it, I'm comfortable. I'm there. Whereas, like I said, I do love a good ballad, a good love song. And I feel like everybody that has come from even a rough background, who don't want to be loved? You know what I mean? They want to. Even if you come from the roughest background, you might see the most thuggish type person and they're listening to a love song or some Marvin Gaye and that type of thing. So I just love all music anyway, and I feel like when I am doing a love song, like people sometimes when they hear it, like, oh, this will make you fall in love. Like, what was you thinking about this when you were singing this and stuff? Yeah. And I could just draw experiences from anywhere. It could be my experience, it could be something that I've seen, it could be a family member that's gone through it. And when it's my situation, like, run for cover. Run for cover, because them songs, like, you're gonna be like, was that me? Was that bad for me? But,
quick question, yeah. Like as someone who obviously, like you said, yeah, you see that these days we don't really get people like with powerful voices, yeah.
Yeah.
Like either in the UK, to be fair, in the UK we didn't really have a lot of female singers who had obviously strong voices. Obviously we had, but not as much, not as many compared to America, right? With Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, all of these powerful singers, yeah. Why do you think these days we don't really get powerful singers anymore like that?
Auto-tune.
Talk to us.
Auto-tune. Like you don't have to be able to sing anymore.
Talk to them.
And that's just the truth of the matter, because let's say here's the thing, singing's it's a techie thing. Some people might say either you got it or you don't. Yeah. However, your vocal cords is just a muscle. That's it. So you can train it. You train that muscle, you'll be able to carry a note. Okay, you might not sound like Mariah Carey, but I guarantee if you keep like training, you will get better, and that's just standard. And a lot of these singers in the game as well, like when they started out, they couldn't sing. I mean, if you watched a lot of them live, and not to be actually, do you know what? Let me not put names out. You know what I'm saying? But there's some of them they couldn't sing.
It's on social media. Some of them got caught out when, especially doing live performances, innit? And it's like, right, this is not the person that we heard in the song.
This doesn't sound like
the recorded version. I think it's got to do with everything that you do in life. In that, if you don't practice what you have to do, or your actual craft, like, you could be a very listen, I've got at least probably like, I can name about 5, and I know they can hit their notes, like hit the Mariah notes, people that I know personally, and they're in my family, and they're younger. But the thing is, they know they can do it, but because of the environment they're in, it's like smoking, it's like doing this.
I agree.
And then
I agree.
You end up losing that kind of, you know. Yeah. Because
I can definitely relate to that.
It's a thing of, if you're gonna take it 100% seriously, it's not like you have to just kind of cut it off. Yeah. You have to take it 100%. Do you know what I'm saying? And regardless of, we know famous singers that are, I just mentioned smoking, they do smoke and stuff like that, but it's the way you control it. It's the way how you are as a person. Yeah.
Even so me, like,
do you think that's kind of impacted you in a way, or like, say,
or other women,
the environment that you've grown up in?
Yeah, it definitely has. I can relate on a level of, okay, so there's so many different things that do affect your voice. Obviously, smoking, all that stuff. I personally smoke. I'm not gonna lie to you. It doesn't really make a difference for me. Only because I rap more.
I hear it.
If that makes sense. I rap more. So when I'm singing, I'm not always singing those belty songs anyway. If it's rap, it's going to be a little bit more minimal. I don't have to do too much. Exactly. Now, with that being said, just like you said, it's a muscle. So now, if I'm being a bit slack and lazy and I'm rapping more, because even me, I have to train.
You train the voice.
Yeah, and I used to train a lot more. I'll keep it real. And I'm only not training as much now because I have a focused goal in terms of, like, I'm doing my project and I'm constantly working on that project. And so, like, right now, training is not at the forefront, even though it should be right now. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, because I was saying this the other day. I said, listen, I used to always be putting on the Mariah Carey and I was belting. My neighbours could hear me, you know what I mean? And they'd be like, oh, did you sing the other day? They know me. Like, when they hear me singing, they know who is me.
Yeah.
And that's just a matter of exercising my vocals. And that's something that I need to get back into again, because I'm very active right now. But to be honest, I say I don't train, but I do train. my type of training is sort of like I could be riding a bike, and you gotta make sure that I'll be singing the whole way.
Singing on the bike.
Yeah, I'm singing the whole way.
Yeah, that's the
or
thing.
I'm jumping up and down and I'm singing. I'm belting notes. That's how I control the diaphragm and make sure I'm singing from the right place. All of that. So there's things that I do because I have had vocal training way back when I was younger. I've had it at certain points at time. In time, because I used to do like choir back in the day.
Okay.
And then there was certain situations where I was in certain deals, and then they was like, you gotta do this, and they wasn't having it. They was kicking me up in there. You know what I mean, you're doing this, what are you doing that? And the bad habits I have, they don't play. So exactly what you were saying, the smoking, they will get onto you, even down to what you eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be eating things that has too much mucus in your throat and stuff, and it makes you sound like this so techie. Like, a lot of people don't really get it and stuff sometimes. But if you are actually a musician that understands, you understand that aspect of it, the technicalities of singing and stuff, you understand that it's not just singing. It's not. You like your breathing techniques, controlling your vocal. There's so much. It's so much, and I'm having a lot more fun with it now because before I had a very big voice. When I was younger, I had a very big voice, but I didn't know how to control it. So I would have a lot of squeaking sometimes, or my voice would break when I'm doing certain things and certain techniques. Now I don't really have that so much anymore. I feel a lot more seasoned in a sense where I know what I can hear everything. If that's flat, that note's flat, that's flat, do it again. It's becoming a lot more technical.
That's your training, but you're training yourself basically.
Yeah.
You're like, I know this doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
I need to improve
exactly.
This,
So I'm definitely in that space now, and I just understand there's just so much more to music now. Like, okay, so recording, getting it down, the vocal training, and actually being good, whatever. That's one aspect. How to record, that's the next thing, and then it's getting the music out afterwards. And even that is a whole job in itself afterwards. Now I'm having fun with that aspect of it because I've always done the creative side of music, and now I'm like, listen, you can put me in the studio anytime, any day, and I'll sit down, look out 16, easy. I've done different techniques. I've written songs from the end to the beginning. Started with the hook, start with the ad libs or something, and I just find different ways to just find new sounds, and that's it. Really, now I'm having fun with singing on Afro drill. Yeah.
You know, speaking about drill, the conversation that we were having earlier,
Yeah.
Do you remember? You know how you said that obviously you literally got onto drill way before it even became popular, whatever.
Yeah.
Can you tell the people again, like how that came about?
So who remembers Waka Flocka Flame?
Come
Hard in
on.
the Paint?
Yeah.
Come on.
Great. So back then that was like the first type of drill. So I remixed the Hard in the Paint back then. I mean, we weren't doing drill back then.
How long ago? to give the people like a good timeline, how long ago was that?
Okay, so it was probably like 2010 to 2000, because it was 2011 I dropped it.
Yeah, let them know that was
It was 2011.
going way back, early.
I'm chatting rubbish. If you go back, you can see it. You know what I mean? I'm like, right, you really was doing drill back then when nobody was doing it. Do you know what I mean? But back then, I just felt like, I feel like that in general, not to be like kind of big-headed or feel slightly narcissistic, but I feel like I've always sort of been ahead of time with a lot of things. It's helped me in many ways, and it can be a pro and a con. I mean, being ahead of, because not everybody's gonna get it. However, just do you. And now I feel a little bit more seasoned and sure of what I'm doing. I'm like, listen, just do you, stick to your guns, and if they don't get it, it wasn't meant for them. If they do get it,
they'll get it later on.
They'll rock with it, and that's it.
Yeah.
And now I'm in such a happier space now with music. I think we was talking briefly a little bit way back. I got ripped off for racks, like $5,000 back in the day musically. And that put me off doing music completely. I said, no, I don't want to do music. Forget it. I was ready to live the normal life now. I was like, what am I doing in it? I'm trying to do music and I'm a big woman.
Money life changes anyway.
So I went to uni.
I wanted to ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
So you see, you mentioned Waka
Flocka.
Flame. Yeah. So basically, would you say in that moment there was a lot of trap music, and the trap music kind of, because you know there's a lot of the time frame that you're mentioning. There's a lot of trap music. Do you think trap music kind of influenced the drill music scene for it to become what
A
it
little
was?
bit.
Because
A
I
little
think
bit.
so.
Yeah. A
And
little
I
bit.
may be wrong.
But
I may
actually,
be wrong, but I think it's kind of like it kind of emerges in itself. Do you understand what I'm saying? And when you mentioned like those kind of artists, yeah,
drill is
there's
eclectic.
a lot more, because even T.I. that done trap music.
There's-
a
there's-
lot of
you know, there's
a lot of
actually
artists done
a lot of different genres in drill.
but well, this is what I'm trying to.
Actually,
This is
yeah,
what
go
I'm
ahead.
trying to say. This is what I'm trying to say.
I'm gonna let you
And-
land.
Yeah, this is what I'm trying to say. It was that kind of generation. There was a lot of that kind of music, trap music,
Yeah.
and trap music. I think kind of evolved
Influenced it a
into
lot.
drill music. And but do you feel the same? Or
Yeah, it's actually
do you think
it's a
different?
cross between the drill and grime.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some people wouldn't agree only because obviously they would say drill started in Chicago,
Yeah.
and that's why they say,
absolutely.
"Bob, I don't agree with that."
Yeah.
The reason why I say that is because of the tempo. Yeah, and I'm saying this because there's been a lot of songs like I sit fine on drill. I'm not gonna lie to you, like, and there's been rappers that I know they rap more. They don't deal with drill.
Yeah.
And it's hard for them to catch the drill. They don't. They would tell you like a lot of old school rappers that
Facts.
rap in a certain way. Like, listen, there's only certain songs that I like, and the reason why some of the old timers they actually like how I come on drill is because I don't come on drill how they come on drill now.
Yeah.
And when I say that, it's very different how they write. It's very spaced out. A lot of ad libs.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was more double time spitting.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, that was my thing because I come from like the grime era.
I was thinking exactly that, grime. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I come from the grime era.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have a big cousin, Shivers the Butcher.
Okay.
Yeah, he does dubstep. Shuts down.
That's
Yeah.
your cousin.
Yeah.
That's my cousin.
Yeah.
That's my big cousin. He's more like my brother.
Yeah. Dubstep.
That's it.
Yeah, dubstep. And he.
I was on that scene.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
I
So he,
understand, yeah.
if anybody can take credit for how I rap or anything like that, is him.
It's- yeah.
Because he was the one that was sitting down. Okay, do this tongue twister now. Do that one now. Why are you doing that? Why are you breathing like that? He was, you get me, Ross, climb me up in there. You get me, making sure I get it on point. So now when I do it, like when you hear me do the double time, it's clear I enunciate everything. I don't play when I'm doing double time. There's some people, they do double time and you can't hear a word they're saying.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I want you to hear what the hell I'm saying, even if I'm spitting fast on that twister shit. Excuse my language.
That's a good thing, though.
Yeah. So I'm very sort of funny about how I do things. But yeah, so Shivers, and he's been an amazing DJ forever. I'm so proud of him as my big cousin because I've watched him. Everybody used to come through his yard in Fulton Heath. When I'm talking about Conan. Everybody. Everybody, all the Pitney them. Everybody used to go, all the rappers used to go through it because he used to mix and stuff. And back then, the mixtapes was on cassettes. You remember?
Yeah.
You used to put the tissue in there and the ever making a tape. Yeah. Yes.
Stuff like that.
Listen.
Rewind it.
Okay, I'm gonna take your back now. You get me?
Listen, we
I used to
used
do
to
all of
that,
that.
man.
Okay, cool. So those are the times we old school roughed it out. And yeah, so he brought me in on the different types of grime. And I do remember when it switched from grime and everybody wanted to kind of more rap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
it
watched
switched
the
over
crossover,
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is when some people started off rapping like in American accent.
Yes.
At first.
Yes,
Yeah.
at
I
first.
know a few groups
Yeah.
and
Oh,
stuff
we have
like
to-
that, but we'll
Exactly.
get to that.
Exactly.
Let the ladies speak.
So that was
yeah.
at first.
Yeah.
And then, so I was very close with, so you see like Cream Cartel and all them lot.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh my
all them
God.
man, we was a part of the Ghetto Superstars. I think I might have brought that briefly.
Yeah.
That was the first, yeah, so that was the first clique we was in. Yeah, that we put together with QDiz. I was there with all the man them, whatever. I grew up with all of them, actually. So it was a thing where Q he was like, yeah, he's bringing all the talent in. All the people he knows now that grew up come on, let's make money. He wanted to really bring everybody off the road. Anybody that was on the road doing foolishness, listen, no, we can get it a better way. Let's do music.
You have to give ratings for them, man.
Yeah.
You understand? And
they've done it from early.
exactly, he was proper about his business, and I respect him for that. Do you know what I mean? Always loving that. But we all just ended up sort of branching out and doing our own things eventually, obviously. I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to have a little bit more, be recognised more for like my singing or songwriting and stuff like that. But more so on a whole song. I mean, like, I just didn't feel like people was getting enough of me or hearing me enough. So yeah, now, like, so this is now my, call it my second radio. I'm coming back again, type stuff. And it's been a long journey of everyone saying, when you coming back? What do you mean you give up music? You didn't give up music, like, get out of here. Because once upon a time when I got ripped off and I said, no, forget this. I went to uni and I just wanted to live the normal life, that's it. But when I feel like if music is your calling, it's always there. Like, there was times when people call me and say, yeah, I need you on this, I want you to do a hook for this. I'm telling them, listen, I don't do music no more.
Yeah, I was just about to
And then I could be going somewhere and I've seen something, it's inspired me and I've got a bar in my head. So then when that kept happening, I was like, I think I'm meant to do music.
Is that because, do you know what's so funny? You say that, yeah? And as soon as you said that, yeah, something just clicked in my head. Yeah? Is that, like, people use music to express their feelings. Express their life expressions or whatever they've been through in life and stuff like that, yeah. And so when you're saying at a point you was like, I don't want to do music, that was genuinely because you was going through kind of like a phase, but then you still wanted, you knew music was in the back of your head, and then you said, do
you know what it is?
So when you're coming up against stuff, you're seeing things, and you're like, oh, a bar's coming into your head, so that's your calling, right?
And then I started realizing that, like, I was like, okay, cool, like this stuff, it just keeps finding me. So, like, and when it started to become easy, it was when I took a step back and said, I don't want to do it, and opportunities was just still coming anyway. When I was like,
it's like what I told you earlier. Sometimes it's like God or the universe says, nah, like, this is your thing. And I'm gonna continue reminding you that this is what's meant for you. Quickly before we move on, like, could we go? Could you give us a little bit more, maybe detail in terms of, like, you said, obviously somebody conned you, innit? Somebody conned you for 5 bags or something like that. Obviously, if you don't mind, could we go into a little bit of detail, because obviously I understand, like you said, that was one of the main things that made you. You know what I say?
That was my turning point.
Is it possible if we can go into a little bit more detail in terms of, like, obviously how you came across this guy, and if you can just give us as much detail as possible.
So, I met him online on IG. Just switch this off.
You sure it's not him calling?
No, this is my music partner.
I was about to say immaculate timing.
I'm in my interview. I'll call you back.
Reality Team TV.
So
go on.
What was I gonna say now?
So you met him online.
So I met him online on IG. You know, he had a few followers and that, and me, I don't really go by followers anyway. Because back then a lot of people was buying them. Yeah, true. And I wasn't sure.
Even now, people are still buying them.
You know what I mean? So, so he reached out, asked to work with me. He's a rapper. I was like, okay, cool. I booked the studio. I pay for the studio. I pay for the mix and master. I pay for the radio edit. I even put down half for a music video. This music video was meant to go on, I think it was like MTV, something like that. Oh, yeah, it's gonna go on MTV. But he chat shit, basically.
That's what he basically...
That was the con. You know what I'm saying? That was the con. I mean, so I was being young, dumb, naive, and just sort of like, how can I explain? Because my passion is with the music. You understand? So because I wasn't really dealing with the business side of things, I didn't know shit about the business side of things. I was just like, everybody wants to blow up. We're all in it for the same. You understand? But anything I was putting money in for, he was taking that money. He bought an Audi TT with my money. And yeah, it was just very...
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, I remember the moment when I sort of realised that he'd ripped me off. I felt sick.
How long? Quickly,
Yeah.
yeah. How long did it take you to actually get to a conclusion and actually
Get to a
realize
conclusion.
that raw, like this guy's actually ripping me off?
What was the first thing where he was... Okay, so... You know, I'd seen him enough, like, in the studio. We was making music. We was working on stuff. Okay, so first he took me to his mum's house. Before we even went to the studio, he took me to his mum's house.
What?
He drew you in.
He took me to his mum's house.
You're like, yeah.
Do you get it? So at this time, I'm
proper.
thinking, I'm not going to think he's going to be a cook at his mum's house. You get it?
Okay.
But I'm not going to lie. For what I will tell you, when I stepped into this house, there was a very dark feeling.
Okay.
A very dark feeling.
Your energy didn't match up.
I noticed that his mum had an alcoholic problem and a drinking problem. Now, me, I don't judge people. You know what I'm saying? You bring me in your house and you introduce me to a mum, whether she's alcoholic or not, I'm going to show you respect.
Yeah.
Hey, mum, you good? Da-da-da-da. But yet still, there was still a very weird vibe. You know what I mean? She was like, yeah, I used to drink. And then she was telling me about all her kids that got put in care and everything. And started reeling off bare things, you understand?
Yeah.
Now, again, that don't mean nothing because I've been through hella things. I'm not going to judge you because of your life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we all go through shit.
But pennies was dropping a little bit. You know what I'm saying? With what was being said, the vibe and that. And only one thing that made me feel a little bit safe is that I saw someone there that I knew from back in the day in music. He used to hold sort of shows like the UK Unsigned type thing. He used to do that. And I saw him there. He was like, yo, like, you know, Drew, what you two working together? He's like, yo, make sure you look after you, you know. So I felt a little bit more safe.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you know him? Okay, cool. Oh, we good then. Da-da-da-da. Okay, let's go ahead. We're getting this single out, doing this, doing that first. Now, the first thing I noticed is that when... Okay, so we went as far as shooting the music video, everything. It was UK Overstood who shot it.
I big them up, by the way.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it was
I
UK
used to-
Overstood.
I used to watch bare music
Oh, really?
videos on there.
Yeah, so UK Overstood. So that was the first thing that obviously it wasn't meant to go on UK Overstood.
Yeah.
Not that I have a problem with UK Overstood.
It was meant to go on
But
MTV
that
base.
wasn't the plan.
Yeah,
You understand?
yeah.
He said
So that was the
MTV.
first
The
thing. I was
plan
like,
was MTV, so
what
you're
happened?
looking at the big show.
so now he was just like, you're shuffling now. You understand? You're shuffling. You're not really giving me your answer or nothing like that. Another thing I noticed as well, he put his name. I'm not even gonna, because I don't want to give him no energy. You
Don't do
understand?
that.
Fuck that nigga. Don't
Yeah,
even say his
literally,
name.
yeah.
Fuck that
Fuck it,
nigga.
innit?
Fuck that nigga.
No,
Literally.
no, listen.
So he put
This
his
way.
name
Yeah.
on the song featuring True. It's my song. I own the
them
rights to the
kind of
song.
tongues,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Like a producer, like a DJ.
So he tried to rip me off the thing. The only thing is that
yeah.
he couldn't rip, even though he ripped me off money wise, he can't rip me off legally in a sense of I own that beat.
Yeah.
I was smart enough to do certain things like PRS. I was on PRS since before you had to pay for it. You
Yeah.
understand? I wasn't playing with things.
You
You understand what I'm saying? So
Just spud you
all
for
my
that one,
beats,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
didn't play. I was working with like back then the beat that he tried to steal. Imagine it was a producer that was working with Young Money at the point at that time,
Yeah.
and he wasn't even meant to reel off all these beats that he was, but he liked what I was working with, and we built a little bit of trust. He was like, "Listen, you choose what beats you want.
Yeah.
You tell me." And don't use the other ones because it's going to get me in problems with the label. Because I'm not meant to be giving these beats out. These are beats that the big boy artist is meant to be getting right now.
Yeah,
So
right,
I was
right,
like,
yeah.
you know what? You scratch my back, I scratch yours. You understand? And it was blessed. You know what I mean? He gave me a bag of beats. I put down money. Like, whoa. Yeah. And he gave me beer money on top. So he gave me beats on top as well. Because he was like, rah. Like, she was serious. Because I was like, yeah, all right, cool. I'm gonna put the money in on this day. This is what I said to him. And, you know, you probably thought, she ain't gonna, and then I did it, put it down, he was like, hey, take all these beats type stuff. But yeah, so one of the beats was it was his beat, one of his beats, the one that the guy tried to steal and basically I was featuring him on it, but I owned the beat outright. And at that point in time, I said, listen, take the whole thing down. You understand? Because I noticed he was moving Book at us. I said, listen, take it down now. I don't want to start suing people. You know what I'm saying? So just take it down.
Yeah.
So he took it down. As for the money thing, I couldn't really. I went about it in a bit of a savage way. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But obviously, I pulled up at the mum's yard, listen, run back my peas. The whip's mine, run it back now. The logbook,
Yeah.
And obviously, I haven't seen him since he's ripped me off. You understand? Because that's what he does. He's known for ripping off little girls or whatever.
And then he disappears.
And I was younger then.
All of them do this.
And then he now lives looking over his shoulder. That's how he lives. He's been stabbed before. He's been in this. He's got it before. He's a bad character.
Well,
he's known for that. And that's why I've always held a certain level of integrity with my music. Now I'm in a space. Now I'm in a seasoned space now. I'm like, you know what? You're good. You didn't have to do none of that. You know, you don't have to look over your shoulder. You don't owe nobody peas. You don't now. That's what I'm known. I'm known for working in the studio. That's what I'm known for. That's it. Nobody can't chat shit. Anybody come around and chat shit, they're like, listen, she works. I don't even want to hear all that. You know what I mean?
Because enough now, you know every single, or you know all the corners of the music business,
Exactly.
and the music industry,
Yes.
and that's what it has to come down to.
Exactly.
Really.